welcome back to more news you can use with Lotus Richey and Lynn Herod Diverges. We got another spectacular show for you that's going to help you climb to the next level of awareness. That's right. So thank you so much for joining the show today. That's right. You're here at More News You Can Use with Lotus Richey and Lynn Herod Diverges. And guess what? If you want to be a celebrity on the show, just let us know and click the button below. And you'll be the guest celebrity on More News You Can Use with Lotus Richey and Lynn Herod Diverges. Click the link. Click the link now. Hello and welcome back to another fantastic broadcast of News You Can Use with Lotus Richey and Lynn Herod Diverges. So tonight we have two phenomenal guests, super duper for you. I know a lot of times, especially amid the COVID, people are stressed and sometimes they really don't feel that they can make it, but they don't really talk to anyone. And sometimes because we don't talk to anyone, we allow stress to build up and have a negative effect on us at a cellular level. Well, I would only imagine how it could feel if I was a person who was 65 and had a stroke, but lived to tell about it. So tonight, we're going to introduce you to a fabulous young lady who's going to share her story with us about stress, stroke, and how she overcame. And also, we have a fabulous young lady here. She's going to talk about the lymphatic system. But I can't get things started. I can't get things going until I bring out my co-host. So if you're really ready for a fabulous time tonight on More News You Could Use, go ahead and put a number 2 in the comment block below. That's right. Put a number 2 in the comment block below. Like, share, start a watch party. Like, share, start a watch party, and run and tell somebody that we are coming tonight to bring you more news you can use, where we bring inspiration to every nation. And we're going to bring some inspiration to you. So when you come in, go ahead, get your pad. I always say note takers are money makers, but you can't take notes without a pen. So make sure you run and get your pen, because I'm going backstage to get my friend and your friend, Lynn. Okay? So go ahead, get your notepad and get your pen, because it's time for us to win. Be right back. Hello and welcome back to More News You Can Use with Lotus Richey and Lynn Herod Diverges. We got another spectacular show for you that's going to help you climb to the next level of awareness. That's right. So thank you so much for joining the show today. That's right. You're here at More News You Can Use with Lotus Richey and Lynn Herod Diverges. And guess what? If you want to be a celebrity on the show, just let us know and click the button below. And you'll be the guest celebrity on More News You Can Use with Lotus Richey and Lynn Herod Diverges. Click the link. Click the link now. Hola, hola, buenos días, ¿cómo estás, bonita?
Hola, hola. And I think I'll leave it at that. How are you?
I'm doing great. Good to see you. You know, every week we start out, we're practicing our language, folks. So who knows, maybe next week we'll speak Portuguese or German or some other language. You let us know what you want us to speak, and we'll try to do our very best to make it happen as we say hello and welcome to the show. How's it going, Lynn?
It's going great, Everything's wonderful. LA has nice, cooler weather, so I'm very excited about that. We're moving into fall, and it's always a beautiful time.
Awesome, because last week you guys were burning up like popcorn.
Oh, yes, we were, girl.
Okay, I thought so.
We were turning into popcorn too. Yes, indeed.
Well, popcorn is one of my favorite things, so that's good. So while we're talking about popcorn, we're going to talk about getting it hot and popping. So, Lynn, we've got a fantastic show tonight. We've got two fabulous young ladies, emphasis on young because they are sensationally young and they are having fun.
Yes.
So, it's so amazing that we've got these young ladies on this show to really talk about some of the things that cause us stress in life and how we can get over it. So I
Mhm.
think that's great. So, Lynn, I understand that our first guest, I think she's jumped around with us a couple of times.
Yes.
So, can you tell us a little bit about our first guest?
Absolutely. Karen Speed. Karen Speed. We're so happy to have her here with us. She actually was a former human resource manager for over 25 years, and she's also a Naturally Plus affiliate as what we call a Grand Spirit Achiever.
Mhm.
And that's someone who has reached a level of excellence in their business and are doing well with NPUSA. She's all the way here from Hawaii, and her story is so
Awesome.
inspirational. And I think for all of you, you're going to learn
Mhm.
a lot. So, as Lotus says, make sure you have your pad and your pen because you'll want to take notes on how this beautiful young lady overcame having a stroke and is not only still alive, but thriving.
Yes, and I like that word that you said, thrive. So, do you want to bring Miss Karen Speed out, or do you want to just make them wait? Should we make them wait, Lynn, or should we just bring Karen on
Yeah,
out?
just for a little while. Yeah.
We should bring her out. All right.
Make 'em
Hey,
wait.
Karen,
Make them wait.
make a wait, make a wait. If you guys want Karen to come out, put a 3 in the comment block below. I'm trying to bring her out, but Lynn's just like make her wait, make her
Make 'em
wait.
wait.
I think I think we should bring her out. I think Kathy is like, hey, how you guys doing? She said, Karen, Shimatsu Speed. So excited to hear her story today. We're excited to hear her story too. And I'm
Yeah.
happy you said that, Kathy, because maybe now we can bring her on out.
All
So,
right.
Kathy, if you are back there, can you please grace us with your presence and come on out? Please meet our wonderful guest, Karen Speed.
Hi there. First of
Hey,
all,
Karen,
hi
how
there.
are you? How
First
you
of all,
doing today? Okay, we can't hear you.
what are you supposed to do?
Okay, we can hear you now.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Happy to have you here. I see you have your wonderful sign behind you, and I know we're going to get down to the nitty gritty with that today. So, how's things over there in Hawaii?
It's nice and hot. I have a fan blasting right under my table.
Ah, all
So,
right.
so we're not alone. We're
Yeah,
all feeling the
hot.
heat. Except it's cooled off a little bit in California. So it's great to see you. I'm super happy that you're here on the show. I know you have a wonderful story for us, and we just cannot wait to hear it. But before we do that, we are going to bring our other guest out. So, Lynn, who else do we have with us today?
We have one of our favorites. We have Ms. Hillary Gooden, who is actually an author, a speaker, and a lymphatic health coach. And we also know her lovingly, affectionately as Queen of the Bounce because
Yes.
whenever she's here, she makes sure we're moving. And moving is
Yes.
the name of the game, especially right now.
So come on now, Hillary, and join us and bring your trampoline with you. Hey,
And
Hillary.
it's right here. Hello, everyone.
How are you today, Hillary? It's always good to see you.
I'm doing well, as I heard it said. And I'm looking forward to our conversation on tonight.
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome. So I say let's get right into the business. Let's go ahead and look at some of our folks that's here. I see Kathy was like, yay, bring the guests out. Thank you, Kathy. And where's Kathy coming in from, Lynn?
Kathy's coming in from Hawaii, and between the two of you, of course, we had to bring our guests out. So thank you, Kathy.
And Harris is here from wonderful Philippines. Great to see you, Harris. Happy to have you here. And he said he is from the beautiful island of the Philippines. Yes, he is. Thank you so much. So we've got a few folks coming in. Who else we got, Lynn?
We have Melissa Roth, and
All
she
right.
two there, which I don't remember what the two is for.
I think they were telling us, yes, bring the guests out.
Bring the guest
So
out. Okay,
who
all
else
right.
do we have with us?
Carla Mukes. Carla, please let us know where you're streaming in from. Good to see
All right. All right. And Angie's in the house.
you. Yes, from DC. Hi, Angie.
Awesome, awesome. And of course, Kathy is streaming in from Hawaii. So
Yes,
thank you everybody for joining us tonight. Please go ahead, like, share, start a watch party, and run and tell somebody that we are here tonight with more news you can use. And we're going to get right into our broadcast tonight because the name of our broadcast is 65 and Alive After a Stroke. So if you know someone that's had a stroke or maybe in danger of having a stroke, this is a broadcast that they don't want to miss, and neither do you. So we're going to get right into it. You've met our guest, of course, my wonderful co-host Lynn Harris Diverges, and of course the wonderful author, speaker, lymphatic health coach. You've seen her with us. She gives us more bounce to the ounce each Monday, Miss Hillary Gooden, and of course our wonderful friend all the way from Hawaii, the wonderful former human resource manager for over 25 years, and she's also a Grand Spirit Achiever for MPUSA. And if you don't know what MPUSA is, stick around because she's going to tell you. All right, so let's get right into it. So Lynn, I know you were just waiting to put somebody in the hot seat. I'm not going to point no fingers. I might point a pinky. And you wanted to get right into it and ask some questions of our wonderful guest, Karen.
yeah.
So I'm gonna move over and let Lynn ask the questions.
All right. So, Karen, before the stroke, we know that you were an HR manager. So, can you tell us a little bit about your experience as an HR manager?
Well, first of all, I was I was so passionate about HR. I love my job. It brought me so much joy, passion, and purpose. I was able to help the employees, and I all the employees came to me for everything, all their problems. So I was like the go-to person. I was just so happy every day coming to work and doing this job. But then all of a sudden they started downsizing, the department. So I became a department of one. So I've been a one-man department for the last 7 years, but it
Wow.
became stressful within the last 3 years. That's when I started, I kept everything in, and everybody started coming constantly, and I couldn't say no. Whatever somebody wanted, I did it. So it was a difficult time. And there was crisis at work, and people had all kinds of problems. So I used to work like 10 to 12-hour days, working on weekends. I
Wow.
did everything to keep afloat.
Wow. So I just want to ask this question. How many of you out there have had a job where you said yes, 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 and all it led to stress for you? Because you just couldn't say no. Either you didn't want to say no because you felt like you were being mean if you said no, or you didn't want to say no because you didn't want to lose your job, or you didn't want to say no because you were trying to climb the corporate ladder. If you can identify with that, not being able to say no, put a number 3 in the comment block below, because I tell you, I can identify with that. And see, we got some 3s in the house. I can definitely identify with that. And the yes, yes, yes can lead to stress. So how did you really break free of saying yes all the time? Because that had to be hard. Was it hard?
Actually, I never broke free. I kept on doing it. I could do it. So I just did whatever it takes to serve the employees. It's like my mind was just, I didn't give up. I would just keep on going.
Wow.
In the meantime, I was just falling asleep all over the place because I couldn't sleep. I was so worried about.
So you took that. So really, you took that job home. You said that you worked 10 to 12-hour days, 7 days a week, but it really sounds like it was a 24-hour real commitment for you in so many ways, because if you were still thinking about it
Yeah.
and working on resolving whatever the issues were that came up on a daily and weekly basis, you never really had a chance to rest.
Yeah.
That's
And
true.
we're getting a lot of threes here too. So if you didn't get any chance to rest on your own job or even in your own business, because a lot of us have moved into our own businesses, but now we're working sometimes 17 or more hours a day. So if you are experiencing that now, put a number 4 in the comment block below. And I want to go up here and look at some of the threes, because Angie's put a 3 in there. Lois has put a 3 in there. Who else do we have some threes from, Lynn?
Claire Ganuku.
And we've got something from Kathy. Kathy put a lot of 3s in there. Who else do we have, Lynn?
Low. Yes, Charlene.
All right. Fantastic.
And Janice Terakawa. Yes, I'm a special ed teacher. Yes, I understand. I have several friends who are too, and it's a beautiful job. Thank you for the service. Our children definitely need more people like you with the heart and to help. But I know it's an extremely stressful job.
Yes. And like I asked, have any of you been in the situation where you're working for yourself and now you're working more hours, things are even more crazier than they've been before? And Carla Mukes said 44, and Kathy put a row of 4s there. And I want to say hi to Ezekiel all the way from the Philippines. Great to see you. And Angie's got a question. She said, what about those who are forced to telework? Sometimes working from home has no boundaries. Wow, that's powerful.
Yes, it is. And it's so true.
Mhm.
So true. The time you would commute is the time that a lot of people are still working.
Exactly. So, Karen, was it that you didn't have any boundaries there as well? Because it sounded like you were working at work and you were working at home.
I guess the company got used to that. Just like they expected me to work like that. So I did. So I worked from home. I took it wherever I went. It was always in here.
Wow. And it sounds like you got used to it as well.
Yeah, I did.
Because you started taking it home. And I know many of us, we get used to it. We say, I got to do it. This is my baby, or whatever. The boss is depending on me. If that's you, if this is you, or it's, someone like this, put a number 5 in the comment block below, because I know I'm a workaholic. How about you, Lynn and Hillary? And we already know Karen is. So
Yeah.
Karen, that had to be totally amazing. Lois said, I am a retired kindergarten teacher. 4. Okay. First year's teaching, Charlene said, first year's teaching 85 to 90 hours per week. Wow. Thank you all for sharing that, because we've not set any boundaries if we're doing that. So Karen, you were working all these hours. You were having a whole bunch of stress at work. You're working at work. You're working at home. Now, did you have a family that you were taking care of as well? Or what was your life like at home?
Well, the stress all started like from way before that, because I got divorced, and I had to take care of my aunt and uncle. So I lived with them for the 15 years.
Wow.
So the thing was, part of the divorce was that I had to live closer to my son, my ex-husband. They were in the vicinity. So I asked to, if I could a couple months. But it was more stressful than ever, because I found out my uncle had like Alzheimer's and Parkinson. My auntie was really sick too. But she told me, oh, can you cook and clean and don't ever get married again, and take care of me in case I fall out. And she had so many.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, and this may be a little bit personal. In many cultures, it's kind of an unspoken rule that the oldest child, or the child that's not married, or the child that can and will and want to, will take care of the parents or the other relatives. So how was that? What was your experience like taking care of your aunt and uncle with all the stress that you already had on you? What was that like?
Well, actually, I was more or less helping my aunt because she kept on telling me I want to die. Every day she said, I'm going to die. I'm going to die.
Wow.
She was kind of depressed. To help her, I was like going church and all that. So I used to ask her when she told me, I want to die today. And I said, oh, Auntie, can you help me with this? Because she was a professional seamstress. So she loves to sew. So I tricked her and said, oh, the church needs these prayer blankets. Can you help me make these? Help me fix my clothes. So I kept her busy. And she never said, I want to die again. But she loved it. And she was reading the scriptures on the blanket. So being a Buddhist, she started saying, oh, I want to have a Christian funeral. And she changed. So I'm glad that just like I led her to the Lord and be her savior, to save her. So she was happy that she wasn't alone anymore. I was there to kind of guide her. So I was just so thankful that I could help them, It actually helped me by living with them. It gave me like a refuge, from getting a divorce. It was a safe place to hide. And I got so much peace from staying with my aunt. But the thing was, I just really thankful for that. So I know God had something to do with that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful thing. And I am thinking, yes, as wonderfully as you and your aunt and your uncle were able to come together as a family and really support each other in mutual ways. I know what it means to also have the care for elderly people, and doing that while working those hours had to have been beyond stressful for you. So what happened as a result of that?
Well, actually from that, while I was taking care of my aunt too, it took a toll. I became kind of sick and tired because while she was feigning health, she never went to a nursing home. She promised me she don't want to go to a nursing home. So she was bedridden, so I had to change her diapers and all that. So I did whatever I could, but I asked my brothers to help me, like on the weekends but it was like she just didn't want to go to the home. So she stayed at home while I took care of her, and I was working too. So I was really stressful thinking, how am I going to do this? But God helped me, and I did it. I did all that until she passed away. But I'm always thinking that on the day she passed away, she was singing the song Amazing Grace. So I just felt so good that she found the Lord. But then, for taking care of her, it really took a toll on my health. I tried to exercise, but I pulled my hamstrings and my body was getting weaker, and I don't know. But the thing was, no matter what was happening to my body, my spirit was still working. I just wanted to keep on going. So in fact, after my aunt passed away, I started to think of, I got time freedom. Now I can do other things. So I started working longer hours, and I joined clubs and volunteered. I went crazy. I just was getting worse.
So let me ask you a question. Let me ask you this question. We know something happened, and I want to visit that. And if you all want to know what that was, put a number 6 in the comment block below. Because when we come back for the break, we're going to visit what happened as a result of overworking, overstressing, and missing her aunt. We'll be right back. Hi, many people are looking for ways to enhance their business and expand their reach on social media. Well, if you're one of those people, look no further. Just join the StreamYard introduction on October 15th at 3 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, hosted by Miss Ignite&TakeFlight herself, Lotus Richey, and the visibility strategist, Miss Patricia Rogers, along with Randy Ward and Regeline Sabbath, as they host the StreamYard introduction. Get in front of the people that you want to be seen by to turn your leads into conversions. See you there. Remember, October 15th, 3 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. EDD time. Get your tickets on Eventbrite now. All right. So we love to engage our viewers, and we just thank all of you for being here with us. If you don't know, and if you're just joining us, we have a wonderful show tonight. It's called 65 and Alive After a Stroke with our wonderful guest, Hillary Gooden, the bounce queen, and she is a lymphatic health coach. So if you need to know some things about your lymphatic system, you've come to the right place. And we also have our wonderful guest. She was a former human resource manager for 25 years, Grand Spirit Achiever for Naturally Plus USA. But the most important thing is that she took care of her family members and she loved them and cared for them until they went on to the next level of life. Our wonderful guest, Miss Karen Speed. And I see so many sixes. So everybody wants the secret sauce, Karen. So we're going to put you in the hot seat. And while we're looking at all the sixes, oh, Ryan Kenji said, "Praise the Lord," about your aunt. So that's great. And Angie said, "You have such a strong spirit." So Angie said, "We want the sauce." Harris put a six in there. Kathy put a six. Charlene put a six. And Mary, hi Mary, how are you? Let us know where you're coming in from, Mary Higa. And Phyllis Higa is also here with us. Let us know where you're coming in from. So many folks want the secret sauce. So we're going to get right down to the nitty gritty. But before we do that, let's check this comment out. It says, "It's so good that you are sharing. This is so cleansing for you. You are doing an amazing job." And that's true. So thank you so much, Lois, for your comment. So let's get right back into it. Can you tell us, after your aunt died, you started working feverishly, but something changed? Can you tell us what happened to you?
Well, I had a OB/GYN appointment right around that time. So I went to the doctor. She noticed that, wow, your blood pressure is so high. So the first thing she said was, you're a walking time bomb. Any minute now, you can get a stroke or a heart attack. And she said, you got to go see a doctor right away. And what did I do? I checked with my doctor. He was on vacation. So I said, later. So I just ignored it and went back to work. So at work, that's when I talked to my boss and I told him, I can't take this anymore. I think I'm going to give my notice. And he told me, oh, you should take some time off. And nothing happened. So then again, the week later is when I had a massive stroke. So it happened so fast, everything that I didn't know what was going on. I mean, so do I talk about what happened to me on the day of the stroke?
Of course.
Oh,
Yes.
Sure.
What did you experience during that time?
okay. So right after the week, I talked to my boss. I came home from a meeting. I was at a network marketing meeting. I came home like around 10:30, 11 o'clock. When I came home, I felt, like my right side of my body, my arm, my leg was already feel tingly. But I didn't know what was that. So I was exercising, but I was so tired. I just went to sleep. If I knew what it was, I could have gone to the ER, but I didn't. So I fell asleep. But just like something woke me up because the whole night I was so, I couldn't sleep. And so around 4:30 in the morning, I just kind of jumped up. But as soon as I stood up, I fell down. So the right side of my body was weak already. So I tried to go to the bathroom, and then my head kept on banging on the wall. So I'm going, oh no. So I really didn't know what was wrong with me. But actually, I was more worried was, what about work? I was got to go work today. All I could think of was, what was work? Oh, the payroll is coming up. So my mind is not thinking about me. I'm thinking about work. But the first thing I did
Wow.
was, instead of, calling the ambulance, I called my son. So he picked me up right away and went to the ER. As soon as I went to the ER, you go, oh, you have a stroke. And they said, oh, you forgot to take your medicine. I said, I don't take medicines. So then they declared, oh, you had a massive stroke and it was paralyzed on the right side. So I can't move my arm, my leg, couldn't walk. And then part of my face, it was going up my face, the lip was crooked or something. So I was like shocked. But then again, I just felt so relieved, to have a stroke. I felt like, it gave me a sense of, oh, now I can rest. Because all the time was go. I just like a hardly slept, just kept on going. So it was amazing to me. So I guess it just made me find this peace.
Wow. You know, it's
Wow.
amazing. Having a stroke is not what I recommend in order to rest from overwork, but
Right.
I think part of
Yeah.
what we're learning here is we kind of find what our limitations are in terms of, you know, pushing it to beyond the edge
Yeah.
and say,
Right.
okay, it's time to stop and just relax. So,
So I heard you say when you had the stroke, you were like, oh, what about work, this and that. But what went through your mind when you had the stroke about your own life?
mhm.
What were your thoughts about your own life, not the job, not anyone you had cared for, not anyone that depended on you, but just you?
It's like I didn't care about myself. I didn't love myself. I just wanted, I don't know, I just wanted to, I always cared about others first before myself. So I just was worried about other people that may need me, or I didn't, it's like I didn't think I was important enough. I didn't care. But then again, I knew somehow because I did call out to God. I was crying for help, saying, God, help me, help me. And somehow, I wanted to be saved. I was pleading for him to help me. So he did answer me.
Awesome.
Mhm.
So you really you started focusing on Karen,
Yeah.
the most important person in that room. You
Mhm.
started focusing on you. And Lynn said earlier, she wouldn't recommend that as a way to get some rest, but sometimes we have to experience certain things in our lives to kind of slow us down and to really get us in oneness with our higher source. At least that's my belief. What are your thoughts, Hillary?
Oh, I was just sitting here thinking, man, that sounded so much like what I experienced. I didn't experience any type of sickness or stroke or anything, but I was on that path, just
Hmm.
at the job. I heard my name so much until there
Hmm.
were so many days I would leave work thinking like that show Cheers.
Hmm.
You go there because everybody knows your name. I used
Yes.
to think, let me just leave there, and I don't want to see anybody that knows my name. I don't want to even hear my own name. It'd be called so much on the phone, on the computers, or in the what you call it, the PA system in the job. Miss Hillary, Miss Hillary, Miss Hillary. And I was that go-to person, like she said,
Hmm.
for so much of working at a behavioral health center. It's like everything that wasn't clinical fell in my office. And there were only like four of us, and sometimes there were only two of us. And
Hmm.
I wasn't uh, afraid to jump in there and do whatever it took. It was like I explained it to my staff. I said, this office runs like a four-leg table. When there's somebody missing, we have to keep the table up, And then there were times because of cuts and shortages because of the state funding or something like that, that there were only two of us. And it was
Hmm.
hard and it was stressful. And then, you go home and there's things going on there and there's Hillary this, Hillary, you need you to do this, do that. This stopped working, that stopped working. Then when I get to church, my pastor, there are different things happening there. Everybody's looking at Pastor Hillary, Pastor Hillary. It was like, oh, you know. And so I totally understand that just feeling like you want to give and give and give, but not taking value for yourself,
Mhm.
And like I was saying, that when the Lord stopped me one night, I talked about it on a previous show. He just simply spoke to me, save some for yourself. Because I was headed on a path where, who knows what could have happened physically wise, and then that's how I found out about bouncing and all that. And I was, just said, you know what? I matter.
Yeah.
I matter. Even if it seems like I don't matter to anybody else, I better start, you know, acting like I matter to my own self. So I totally get it. I totally, can understand that path. And it's not because you didn't care, You didn't, you know, sometimes we don't value ourselves.
Mm.
Right. That's often the case when,
Yeah.
you know, I'm very much like the three of you. I'm also a workaholic. At the same time, there's clarity that I really enjoy the work I do. And because I enjoy it so much, it's almost like my hobby. And it doesn't always feel like work, but there
Mhm.
still has to be time that you take out for yourself. And again, I think the lesson here is creating boundaries for yourself,
Mhm.
you know, always checking in with what do I need to do for me in this moment? And maybe that's standing up and, you know, going out, walking around the block. A lot of us are in the house because of the virus situation and just getting some fresh air for a little while, you know, taking a hot bath. And then maybe you can get back to what you need to do or meditate. There's so many, or bounce, or enjoy the Naturally Plus products. You know, there are all sorts of things that we can do in order to love ourselves. And it always starts though by saying, what can I do for me today? And one of the things I often encourage people to do is I say, you know, check in with your inner child. Now, one of the things my inner child likes doing is sliding and swinging. So before the virus, I'd go to the park, and if there weren't any, you know, kids that wanted to get on the swings or the slide, I would swing and slide because that was always a lot of fun for me, and I could play, and then I could go back to work. So there are all sorts of ways we can start loving and valuing ourselves. But Karen, what did you do to actually start recovering from your from the stroke that you had? What was your process in coming back from that weakened condition?
I guess I became closer to God. You know, I started reading the Bible books and stuff. You know, it just gave me so much peace. You know, like something I was ignoring all this time. I was so busy working, I wasn't even studying about the Lord and what He. So He actually told me all the stuff that happened to me. I read in those books telling me what I did wrong or why I became this way. Kind of like it gave me so much, you know, hope that I just, you know, I'm just so thankful that actually God was talking to me already, telling me how you can, you know, he redirected my life to go another way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I just, you know, I'm so completely thankful. So actually, God gave me a gift, you know, having a stroke was a gift from Him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the thing was, it stopped me from harming myself, you know, I'm just so thankful for Him saving me. You know, He brought so much joy. What I wanted to say was, you know, while I was in the hospital, paralyzed, the pastor called me a couple times and he told me, we're praying for you. You know, so much people at the church are praying for you. So don't give up now. He called me how many times? And there were so many visitors who came to the hospital and to rehab. Every day it was crowded. And so much people, I didn't have time to think or worry about myself. So everybody came. This is they're praying for me, and you know, I was just so thankful that the power of prayer was so strong that it healed me as well as God's will. You know, so I'm just so thankful that, you know, it was, you know, it really helped because I just didn't know what to do. And so many people just came and blessed me.
So, what decision did you make then, once you started to get better, to really shift some things in your life so that you wouldn't find yourself as stressed and in the place where you might have another stroke? Were there certain things that you did, and how were you introduced to Naturally Plus?
Oh, well, after I came home from rehab, a good friend of mine, Laurie, she, well, she knew I had a stroke. So she brought over another friend named Reiko, who also survived from a stroke. By meeting her, you know, she told me about her story and how the products helped her and how she, you know, when I looked at her, she looks fantastic. So as soon as I saw her face, I wanted to, you know, I wanted to try the product because I believed her.
Mhm.
So as soon as I tried, I think I tried, yeah, the super lutein and the Izumio. as soon as I try it. So within a week, I could get off the wheelchair and walk because my stiffness in the right leg, I couldn't feel it anymore. And I had so much energy from the Izumio that it just breathed in new life into me. So that really helped me. From there, I put the Izumio in my eyes because I had floaters, and I did the Myrtle Plus because I had double vision, so it took it away too. So the product has helped me tremendously. That it was so easy to share. I just told them, this is what happened to me, and I just loved it. As soon as you try it, you fall in love with it too. So Naturally Plus has done so much for me that I just can't imagine. So just like I wouldn't be here today without the products because I can't stop using them. They just help me. Yeah.
That's excellent. And
Wow.
Go ahead, Lotus.
I love it because that was the question that I wanted to ask. How did Naturally Plus change your life? And you already answered that. And that's so wonderful. And I got to tell you, everyone, you see us drinking our water or we're sharing our products with you. And I want to say to each and every one of you out there, we're not saying that these products can heal you, that they're going to give you a cure, but we are sharing our experience with you so that because after all, news you can use is really about bringing more positive news to you about how you can enhance your health and also increase your wealth. Because after all, without your health, what is wealth? So we are not medical doctors, so please consult with your physician prior to taking any supplements or doing any kind of exercise. What else should they do, Lynn?
Well, they should also make sure that not only do they check with their physician, a lot of things that I suggest to people is before you start taking the products, go to your doctor. Have your clinicals run. Clinicals meaning blood tests, urine tests. They're checking for cholesterol, blood pressure, other conditions that would include heart condition, stroke. A lot of things can be found out in the blood. And then after taking the products for about 3 months, go back to the doctor and notice how your clinical numbers shift and improve. So I think that's a very good idea. So if you're on medication for chronic or severe diseases or conditions, really consult with your physician before taking any of these supplements. And even if you're healthy and you may want to get an idea of the condition you're in, like I said, go to the doctor beforehand, then take the products for 3 months and go afterwards. And I'm sure you will find somewhat of a difference. So in a positive way.
All right, fantastic. And also, I want to thank you for sharing your thoughts with us on the stroke, how it happened, what your thoughts were, and how Naturally Plus saved your life, so to speak, in so many ways, if I may say that. So with no further to do, we're going to take a quick break and come right back to you with some hot seat questions for Hillary Gooden. So if you haven't yet shared, and start a watch party and run and tell somebody, what are you waiting for? Go ahead, please share, and start a watch party. We'll be right back. You want to be a celebrity guest on the show? And you want to know where to go? Well, go to www.lotusrocheteignitesyou.com. Again, that's www.lotusrocheteignitesyou.com. www.lotusrocheteignitesyou.com to be the celebrity on the show. I tell you, I love my Izumio water. And yes. So
all the time.
Yes. So Hillary, we wanted to touch bases with Hillary and ask her some questions about stroke, because a lot of people don't really know about the signs of stroke. So Hillary, can you tell us about some of the signs and how people can address some of the signs of stroke by understanding their lymphatic system?
Well, what I've have found about the stroke is and the connection to the lymphatic system is that the lymphatic system, it goes all the way up to your brain. Up until recently, about 2015 or so, they didn't believe, the doctors didn't believe that your brain was affected by your lymphatic system. This is something I knew before 2015, but they're just now catching up with that. And so, when the brain suffers that the disconnection because of what do you call it, the blood vessels being attacked or being damaged, then it can cause that buildup of fluid, and that too is what will damage the lymphatic vessels. And so there is definitely a connection there, and taking care of your lymphatic system can help to well, you asked me about signs, and
Yes.
Miss Karen, she was saying how she was numb on one side of her body. I believe it was the right side.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, the right side of the body, and how she felt the numbness and felt that she didn't have use of her even her neck and all that stuff. I know my uncle, he had a stroke, and he said he noticed it because he had watched the program about the signs of a stroke, and he didn't have anything major that was happening at the time, but he said he had like saliva just coming out of his mouth, and he knew something was wrong. He took himself to the emergency room and found out he was going through a stroke at that time. So it can be subtle, or it can be, severe, like what happened to Karen. And I was thinking as she was talking, how your body will give you, somebody mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, your body will whisper, it has whispers and ways of talking to you that something's not right. And we
Right.
so often push past those whispers until sometimes it ends up being a shout,
Yeah.
just a major shout out, you need to take care of this,
Right.
And so it's so important, again, learning how to listen to your body. Everybody's different. Some people say they feel a little pinch in the arm area. I've heard, and because I haven't dealt with anybody personally with a stroke, but just listening. You listen to what other people are saying, and listen to reports or news reports that you hear on that they're talking about strokes, because it's not always a shout out loud type of
Right.
sign.
And I think some things can be so simple as inflammation in the body. And you talk about that a lot, Hillary. So how is a stroke related to inflammation?
Okay, so when the blood vessel, when the one system connects to it, affects the other system. So when the blood system is not working properly, and it has that blockage that's causing a buildup, that's also affecting the lymphatic system to not work properly. And when you got two major systems in your body, they're in a dysfunctional pattern now, almost like a super stagnation. I am not a medical professional. This is the way I explain it, the way I understand it. Like a super stagnation going on, a super disconnect going on between those two systems. You're going to have a bag up. And
Mm-hmm.
as the backup is the fluid in the bloodstream, the plasma, as well as the lymph fluid in the lymphatic system, they build up into the tissue of the body, into the cells, that can it's going to cause something to happen.
Right.
Some people don't survive. Thank God, Karen, you're here to tell your story, because
Amen.
some people don't get a chance to do that. It can happen so fast that they don't even know what happened to them, and they're gone.
Yeah.
And there are, oh, I'm sorry, Lotus. I was going to say there are some things that, as you said, people should look out for. Or if you're talking to someone and notice they can't raise, you ask them to raise their arms above their head if they can't do it. Like you said, one side of the face droops, slurring of words, neuropathy, which is the
Yes.
tingling that Karen was experiencing, all of those things. And as you are watching someone, you can also see when they're having a stroke. And so you can
Yes.
ask them to do those things. And if they can't smile and other things, it means that immediately get them to the emergency room.
And oftentimes lack of coordination can be another key thing. When my cousin had what we come to find was a stroke, um, he could not, he was off balance. And the primary thing, and I've um, known people who have passed away from strokes. One of my professors when I was in college, he was my go-to person. He passed away from a stroke. And one of the primary things, if you're with someone and you think they're having a stroke, get them to the hospital as soon as you can, because there's something that they call the golden hour.
Mhm.
And if you can get them to the hospital within the golden hour, oftentimes the effects of the stroke may be minimized.
Yeah.
So don't forget that. So, with that being said, I want to take a couple of comments because we've got some comments here and I want to make sure we take them. Lois said, yes, I agree with Harris. Resting the body is important. And thank you, Angie. She said, please like, share, and start a watch party. And Ryan says, aloha from Hawaii. The spirit of the Lord is strong in the Hawaiian Islands. God is good. Thanks for sharing, ladies. Mahalo and aloha. Take care, be safe, and God bless. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And Angie says sometimes we need to know how healthy or unhealthy we are. And that really goes right back to what you were saying, Lynn. Get a checkup. We need to know where we are. And Charlene says, what a testimony. Praise God, Karen. You gave God all the glory. Thank you so much. And here we've got a comment here, and I'm actually gonna pull it off the screen and I'm gonna share it with you. It says, this is from Harris. He says, I can identify with you, Karen, that your sickness is the only way to get away from work because I felt the same way before I knew something was happening inside my body, but I didn't bother to see a doctor. I didn't want to lose my job. I knew it was not going to be something good. But it did help to give me time and finally had my full rest. It is really important to listen to your body.
Yes.
So those are the key. That's a key thing. Listen to your body, because if you don't listen to your body will either go down on you or put you in a position where you just have to. And it's like what Hillary said, it will be like a brick falling down on your head. And Karen said, wow, Karen. I mean, Kathy said, wow, Karen, you are so awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
Yes.
Thank you.
And we have some folks we asked to let us know where you're coming in from. So folks are starting to share that. So Charlene said, Karen, you are such a brave soul for sharing so openly. God bless you. And you know what, Karen, when you and I talked, we talked about the fact that a lot of times we don't get to purge what's going on inside of us. And sometimes because we don't get to purge what's going on inside of us, we keep those things bottled up. Hey, Kathy Lowe, good to see you. So I would ask those of you out there, how many of you have kept things bottled up? Put a number 6 in the comment below. And then I want you to put a number 7 in the comment below if you're doing something to get that negative energy out. Who are you telling? Are you telling your priest? Are you telling your mom? Are you telling your dad? Are you telling your friends? Or are you coming to broadcast like this to share it so it relieves some of the stress? But whatever it is, you've got to get it out, because if you don't get it out, it will kind of take it out on you. So I see a bunch of folks streaming in with sixes and sevens. Good to see you. Thanks, Janice and Harris and Kathy. And Kathy says, another thing with the stroke, drink Izumio hydrogenized water quickly as well as on the way to the hospital. This will help your body to heal faster. And do you know why? Because it has hydrogen in the water. And Lynn, what does hydrogen do for our bodies?
So hydrogen gas, in the case of a stroke, actually, when a person has a stroke, it's the constriction of blood vessels in the brain in a particular area. Okay,
Yes.
or it can be a restriction due to artery issue that goes up to the brain.
Right.
So with the hydrogen, it actually begins to expand the blood vessels, and it thins the blood, so it's able to flow as it should, because it's the blockage that causes the stroke. And Zumio actually helps water. The hydrogen helps water to flow and move through the blood vessels, so it relieves the pressure. It's like taking pressure off of a valve.
Right.
Or valve taking pressure off of the blood vessels. So drinking the Izumio water, and even putting the water on your head, like taking a cloth or a towel, and if there's a way to soak it, put the whole thing on your head, drink some of the Izumio, because all of that can actually help to slow down the process of the stroke, and it gives you more time to get to a hospital.
Right. Fantastic. And also, we had a question. Can the lymphatic system help with brain repair after a stroke? Hillary, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the lymphatic system, because it helps to remove inflammation, when everything is working properly, when there's excess fluid that gets trapped in an area of the body, the lymphatic system is there to vacuum out those excesses and keep it moving to where it needs to go, to keep it from being stagnant. And so as a person is being, and it helps so that oxygen can get into that area, because oxygen is what helps to bring the body to homeostasis, which is totally disrupted during that time of a stroke, and that time when it's trying to be repaired back to homeostasis, that place where all is well the way God intended, when all systems are working properly. So when the lymphatic system can help to pull those excesses out as they happen, then it's going to help the repair to the brain to be not as long a period of time, and it's happening the way God intended. So you want your blood system to get back in order, but you also want your lymphatic system to be working properly and to be activated as well, so that it can do its part to help to relieve, to remove, to reduce inflammation, no matter where it's trapped. But in this case, we're talking about it being trapped in the brain. And like I said, the doctors have thought up until recently that there were no lymphatic vessels in the brain, but they're from brain all the way down to the bottom of your feet, and that's a good thing, because that's what they're there to do, to help to remove excess traps, anything that's trapped that's going to cause a problem, toxins, bacteria, cellular waste, because we have cells that die off every day, and that's natural, but they should keep moving. They shouldn't be just like trapped in one area where they died off at. There's ways that it should be circulated so that it can be removed from that area. So it's important, and it actually can help because I'm struggling trying not to say the word I'm not supposed to say.
Right, I know.
Say that.
we know we got to stay away from that word.
It helps with the repair process.
Yes.
Yes.
And so we are a little bit past the top of the hour, and I got to tell you, this is such a great
Oh, wow.
topic, and we've got so much feedback, and I would be remiss if we didn't take some of the feedback from our folks here. So Phyllis had some comments. She said she put in number 6, and she said she started reflexology with a friend, also psychotherapy, which helped her. Okay, because we talked about who have you talked to? What have you done to relieve the stress in your life that could help you prevent stroke or any other illness in the body? Because illness, after all, is a body out of ease. Okay, that's where disease come from. Okay, and then Mary said 7. She put a 7. Yes, she's telling accountability partners. She celebrates recovery sisters in Christ and giving it over to God. So she's doing a myriad of things to make sure that she's staying healthy, both mind, body, and soul. So Charlene said the hydrogen goes quickly to the area that needs healing that medications can't reach and creates new cells. Why? Because that's what hydrogen water does for the body, as Lynn so lovely said earlier. But Charlene, you went a step further, and I want to thank you for saying that. And although we're saying these things because we know it, without question, we want to tell you we are not medical doctors. We can share with you our knowledge. Some of us are certified as clinicians in various regions uh, of of life or what have you, but we know it because we take it. We know it from our own experience. And although we are not medical doctors, we are encouraging you. Please make sure you consult with your doctor prior to taking any supplements. Even the water, yeah, I'll say it, but the water's not going to hurt you. Tell them why, Lynn.
Because hydrogen gas is the smallest molecule in the universe and it goes through everything. We, in fact, inhale it every day, all day, and it does not interfere with any medications, with food, with nothing. It interferes with nothing, but it does a lot of good. I think it's 150 different ways that it helps to benefit and bring benefit to the body so we can be back to homeostasis.
Yes. And of course, all the products that you see here, Super Lutein, Izumio, Merito Plus, they all the products break through the blood-brain barrier, providing rich nutrients to the body. And we've got several of you chiming in, and I'm gonna take these quick comments. And Kathy says Izumio hydrogenized water goes through the blood-brain barrier. So yes, it goes where medications are not able to get to, since it goes to the atomic level.
Mhm.
It's amazing. And then Harris says, Izumio reduces my fatigue and boosts my vitality. It gives me more energy. And you know what? I had my mother say that it helps her sleep well at night.
Yeah.
She takes it. I've had someone else tell me, I think Sunday shared with me, she puts her Izumio in the refrigerator and she drinks it cold and it helps her rest well. But also, when I was having migraines, Sunday and we talked, and she told me drink the Izumio, and she would drink it cold as well, and it would help. Um, Also, Angela said what she's doing to reduce her stress is she's connecting with family and friends and just talking keeps me aware of my mind, body, and soul. Sometimes other people can help me see what I deny from myself. And so, what I would say to each and every one of you, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with a few words of wisdom as we prepare to leave this broadcast, but ask Karen and Hillary to come back again because this topic is so amazing and is so well needed. So, folks, if you haven't liked, shared, and started a watch party, please like, share, start a watch party. And if you're coming in late to the broadcast and you just got off work or whatever it is, hit the replay button. But for now, we'll be right back. So go ahead, like, share, start a watch party. Hi, many people are looking for ways to enhance their business and expand their reach on social media. Well, if you're one of those people, look no further. Just join the StreamYard introduction on October 15th at 3 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, hosted by Miss Ignite&TakeFlight herself, Lotus Richey, and the visibility strategist, Miss Patricia Rogers, along with Randy Ward and Regeline Sabbath, as they host the StreamYard introduction. Get in front of the people that you want to be seen by to turn your leads into conversions. See you there. Remember, October 15th, 3 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. EDD time. Get your tickets on Eventbrite now. All right, and make sure after the broadcast you look in the comment below and you'll see the link to the Eventbrite event. You don't want to miss this event. We're going to be sharing some great topics with you, even about a new company that's about to launch that's just better and brighter than so many others. And that's all I'm going to say. If you want to know more, you've got to be at the StreamYard introduction training, because we really want to help entrepreneurs and coaches and people all over the world enhance their reach and expand their business and increase their revenue. And we can help you do that at the StreamYard introduction. So with that being said, we have Phyllis. Hi, Phyllis. Phyllis says, yes, ladies, we need more of you. God bless. God bless you too. And we have Harris put a number 2 in there. So thank you so much. So with that being said, I would love to hear some more words of wisdom from you, Karen. Then we're going to go right over to Hillary, and then Lynn and I will give you some final words of wisdom and tell you what's coming up next on this coming Friday. More news you could use. Karen?
She muted?
What can I say?
No.
All I can say is, when I had the stroke, I was so tired and weak. But the product, especially the Izumio Myrtle Plus, it just breathed in so much new life to me and opened up the world, opened up the Lord to me. So just like the products and God, I changed to a new person. So I'm so thankful for that.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. I love it. And Hillary?
I want to say that we need to remember that our lymphatic system, it touches and it connects with all the systems of the body, all your organs, all your cells. And so it's important to activate your lymphatic system and to maintain a healthy lymphatic system, so that you can have that vitality as well as even more vitality, because you're connected with Naturally Plus. These are all things that you can do to help your body, help you have a more vibrant life.
Awesome. I love it. And we want to take one comment, if we may. Janice Terakawa says, staying away from processed foods, walking at least 5,000 steps a day, and listening to music from the 70s lost just under 20 pounds in 10 weeks. So congratulations to you, Janice. And she said, I've not known Karen for very long, but she is a beautiful person in and out. She is kind, generous, and has a wonderful, positive attitude. And Mary said, yes, such a great show. Definitely news we can use. Thanks, Lotus and Lynn. If you're able, please share again, Hillary and Karen. Oh, wonderful. Yes, we definitely want to have the ladies back. And thank you, Mary and Janice and everyone, for your remarks. Another rule of thumb that I want to share with all of you is, when you have negative people in your life that bring you stress, you need to set up positive boundaries between you and the negative news, because that's not news that you could use. It's
true.
news that you'd rather be without. So remember that. Always be around positive people that can enhance your life. And even if you're around people and they're stressing you out, turn your phone off. Just turn your phone off for a while. Go in and meditate. Spend time with you, because there's nothing like giving yourself some you time. So, with that being said, Lynn, what you got?
You know what? I absolutely agree with you, Lotus, 100%. One of the things I often like to say is, in terms of positiveness, when you speak to others and self-talk, make sure that you are always speaking in a way that you're saying a prayer for yourself, not against yourself. Because everything that you say and everything that you think comes back to you within a few seconds. And so you want to make sure that you are always providing positive prayer, not only to others in the world, but also back to yourself. And meditation is a great way to start that.
Right. And here's some good news that you can use. Go ahead and make sure you pick up our book on Amazon. Pick up our book on Amazon. This is a book that I co-wrote with 11 other wonderful authors. And I think one of the authors is right here with us today. So Lynn, you want to tell them the name of this wonderful book that we co-authored?
The name is Breakthrough Volume 2. The opportunity to transcend in the midst of crisis. And it is now in English. So
Yes.
it's very exciting. We can actually read it. It's only 99 cents right now on Amazon. There is a link to it. Lotus, you can go ahead and share your link. And I really highly encourage everyone pick up the book because it's so inspirational. And oftentimes when we're dealing with so much stress and negativity and challenges that sometimes seem so unsurmountable, by reading the stories of all 12 of us, it will really help you to become sparked on how you can start overcoming whatever the challenges that you are facing at the time. Whether they're big or small, doesn't matter. It's a great, great book to read.
Yeah, it's a great book to read, and you don't want to be without it. And our wonderful friend here, Hillary, has already got the book. She's read the book. So Hillary, can you tell folks what you think about the book?
I wrote a review on Amazon immediately after I read it, and I just wanted to share that what I felt was that it's compelling and it's inspirational. You know, it's just so great to see how God is on the move in the lives of people, you know, and you're not the only one that's going through something. In fact, you know, some other people's stories sometimes can make you just be even more thankful that you haven't gone through, you know, sometimes what you've gone through is just a minute portion of what somebody else has gone through, and they've come through it on the other side to talk about it and to share with others that we can make it too, or somebody else can make it too. So that's what that book is all about.
Fantastic. So thank you so much. And thank you for the wonderful review. And thank all of you for joining us on News You Can Use day in and day out. That we come bringing you more wonderful guests like Hillary Gooden and, of course, the remarkable Karen Speed, that's always doing her best to help make the world a better place. And of course, Miss Moore Bounce to the Ounce is always bouncing around, making sure that we are opening our lymphatic system so we can live a healthier and freer life. So, Lynn, I've had a great time. I'm super duper happy that the ladies came on. We're going to take a quick short break, and we're going to come back and we're going to tell you a little bit about who's coming up on Friday. We'll be right back. Join us this coming Friday with more news you can use with the remarkable Ruth Pace. Overcoming adversity. Don't want to miss this episode of News You Can Use. Lotus Richey and Lynn Harry DeVerge. What can we say? We give you news that you can use. So,
Yes.
Lynn, another wonderful topic tonight. They were
Absolutely.
on fire. Super duper happy that they were here. So, Lynn, we've got a fantastic person coming up on Friday. You want to tell folks a little bit about her?
Yes, Ruth. Ruth is a wonderful woman who really went from such adversity. I think some of the things that she has had to deal with in her life are things that some of us may not have ever experienced, yet we know and can understand how deeply painful some of those things can really be. But Ruth is a story of being able to break through and overcome, and she's done it beautifully. And so she's going to talk to us about that. I know that it takes a lot of faith. It takes a little stamina. It takes a lot of positive knowing that you're going to get through. And so she's going to be talking to us about all of that on Friday. So you won't want to miss it. It'll be a great way to kick off your weekend.
Awesome. I love it. And let me tell you, folks, many of you are contacting us and asking us, hey, how can I get on board? I need some water. I need some Miracle Plus, some super luteins for these floaters in my eyes. So don't hesitate. I say this every week. Don't hesitate. You see this number right here? Go ahead and call Lynn at this number. Send her an email. Call Lynn. You can call her 24 hours a day. What can I say? Hey to her family, but Lynn told me I can tell everybody. So call her at this number 24 hours a day and she'll pick up. And then for some reason she doesn't, she'll give you a call right back. Okay. So, and make sure you get at us for the Ignite Tribe. If you want to be a celebrity on the show, we'll gladly have you on the show. So, Lynn, I've had a great time. And we've had a great time with all of you. So thank you so much. We'll see you on Friday. Oh, and don't forget to join me on Thursday for the StreamYard introduction with Patricia Rogers, Lotus Roche, and the crew of excellent coaches and entrepreneurs. You don't want to miss it. So we'll see you next time, and we appreciate all you do. And thank you for just being you. See you next time.
Thank you.